Welcome to the Tuesday podcast.
Ooh.
Wow. Look at you guys. You made it all the way to Tuesday. Wait for it. September 1st.
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
We are totally ready for a new month.
We are. So welcome to that new month. Today in the podcast, the big draw is going to be Andrew from Disciple and I Am Empire.
Yes, he joins us to talk about I Am Empire, which is band and radio use past. That's releasing some tracks that never made it back when they were a band. And then he also does Disciple stuff as well. So he catches us up with everything.
We talk about Rocky and Creed, popcorn M&Ms, jetway fights, Taco Bell and McDonald's.
Both get featured.
So equal opportunity something.
Yeah, but one I feel like... Well, no, wait, what was the McDonald's? One I feel is about the food, and one I feel is about the drive-through, the person going through it. So I don't know which is worse.
I just think it requires a certain kind of person to go through a Taco Bell drive-through, which speaks to the restaurant itself.
I guess that does work.
Let's see. Anything else? Walmart Plus, freebies from Netflix, some iPhone 12 rumors, and something about Operation Underground Railroad that's pretty fascinating.
That looks very cool. I'll say this. Sometimes I feel like, because it involves a television show that might come out of it, some of the TV shows that they're pushing at us lately does not do much in the bigger picture of it. And so if this is something that highlights something that these organizations are working hard at, it'd be nice to have a TV show that did some good, too.
Something...
A little bit more than what we're normally experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So that's just, something there.
So you guys enjoy today's podcast. Remember, you can always reach out to us by text, 8772-RADIO-U.
Since we might not be in the studio when you send it, just put that it's for the Riot and your podcast listener and your name, and then we'll see that when we come in the next day.
Yes, indeed. So you guys have a great day.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
I came in expecting nothing.
Surprise!
And now there's a surprise.
Well, thank you to, let's see, Gary. He is in the Pennsylvania area. Very sweet letter as well. He said he wasn't sure if he was late to the party. His work schedule does not always allow him to permit him to listen all the time.
Sure.
But he is a podcast listener, and he streams in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And let's see, he did 4 years of broadcasting, but he says he couldn't pay the bills with what the jobs wanted to pay me, but he misses being involved in radio.
Oh, that's weird. It's such
radio.
It's such a lucrative field.
So he did not know if we ever found these.
Okay.
And he went to Sheets, which is...
Oh, blessed Sheets.
So there's a Sheets bag if you want to take it home with you.
Okay.
That's like a reasonable one. He sent us the popcorn M&Ms.
Hey!
Which we never found.
Never.
And I really tried, and I really want to thank you for sending them in because I couldn't do it.
Fantastic.
So I thought we could try these later this week.
All right.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
We already have Andrew today, so...
I think that's a great... You know what,
I think we need to at least wait till tomorrow.
Okay, well, let's do it tomorrow.
So the popcorn M&Ms, thanks to Gary in Pennsylvania, who went to Sheets, who saw them, thought of us, and found them, and sent them to us. Yay! Which is great, because I really wanted to try these.
Come on.
When I went, Gary, I went to a lot of gas stations, and each person I asked said, what? Like, they didn't even know that was a thing.
Popcorn M&Ms. That's stupid.
You mean you want the popcorn that has M&Ms in it
Right.
is what they always sent me to.
Like, no.
No, I want the other thing.
I want people that have taken popcorn and shoved it in an M&M.
That's what we want. We want the officially licensed stuff. So there it is. We'll try these maybe tomorrow, but we'll do that for a food fight.
That's great. I will tell you that I also made several attempts at the popcorn M&M.
We just couldn't find them.
Never did.
And every time we tried, people were like, "Oh, but it's not in the M&M section. It's in the back or the corner or something."
Right.
You're like, "Well, wait, why would it just be where the M&Ms were?" But they were always gone.
So do you think that we should, in addition to that, buy some M&Ms and pop some popcorn and see?
Or we have that gourmet popcorn shop. We could just see if they have M&M popcorn.
Is that place still open?
It is. I saw someone post the other day.
Okay.
I think it's still there.
I thought that might be one of the, it got COVID and...
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Which would be sad. So
yeah.
that would be very sad.
Well, I wasn't making fun of it.
No, I know.
I'm just saying that
gourmet popcorn, I would think would be harder, but...
There's a barbecue place that I love, and they're gone now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Aww.
And, I mean, they... ever since basically whenever we shut down, whatever, they never reopened.
Well, the good thing is people always want popcorn, so maybe that does help. But in this case, we want the M&M popcorn, which we will try tomorrow.
But Nikki, as far as I'm concerned, everybody wants barbecue.
I know, you're right. I'm still looking for the turkey dinner candy corn. So if anyone notices...
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that either.
I've been looking at Walgreens, which is where a lot of people said...
I was at a CVS!
And we're not finding them yet. So if anybody happens to see it, you don't need to send it in. That's very sweet. But if you at least just tell us where you went and got them, we can always go to that location.
You and I were both hitting the drugstores.
We were trying, weren't we?
I felt like... Man, that's a weird... we could talk about that forever. That's a whole weird scene. Like the CVS scene, it is a scene.
It is. It is. Same as the Walgreens one. It's something, but we'll look for those. So that's the turkey dinner candy corn edition that came out.
Yeah.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
You know how it is. You go to the airport, you get on your flight, and you're sitting there. You're very uncomfortable, but your hope is that maybe you can fall asleep and the flight will go fast, and then you can get off of, and it won't be so bad.
It'll be a miracle. You'll just wake up and you're suddenly there without all the trauma of going through the whole flight.
Yes. And then you're like, what's that noise? Oh, it's two women having a fist fight of some kind
on the airplane?
On the jetway.
Oh, then you haven't even made it out, have you?
Nope. So all I'm saying is your prayers of a quick flight have just been denied.
So everybody was going into the plane. It wasn't like everybody was getting out.
Oh, no.
Going in.
Just getting ready. And I don't even know what it is that they were fighting about.
They kept saying they were related, though.
Yeah.
They kept making sure you guys knew that point.
It seems like they were cousins or sisters, which I don't know. Okay, I'll say I don't have any siblings. Like I have some step siblings, but we didn't live together growing up. Mm-hmm. We just did weekends together. So that's different. I can remember seeing a friend of mine and his sister physical violence, the likes of... I was just like, wait, she's a girl. You can't do that. And he's just like, whatever. Boom. And to be clear,
yeah,
if you think that he was somehow winning that fight...
Oh, she was? Good.
She gave at least as good as she was getting, if not more. And it was like, what are you guys doing? Stop it. I hate it when Bubby and Sissy fight.
It's too much.
So these family members are really going at it. The flight gets delayed. Okay, that's it. Here's my question, and I mean this sincerely. I'd love for you to sound off 877-2-RADIO-U.
Sincerely sound off.
But I'm going to ask Nikki. Do you think that things like this have always been happening?
Oh, sure.
But we just now have cameras on our phones to capture it.
Pretty much. I think everybody's always been fighting, as long as planes have been going in the air.
So... it's not that we have reached some weird crisis point in society where it's all falling apart. It's just that now we all have cameras.
Sure.
So every time somebody does something stupid, we're there to grab it.
We are. And I think now they're highlighting it because every other plane fighting video is concerning a mask. So they're excited to have something that's not mask related. And they're sending this out.
Dude.
Because it's not COVID related. They were just fighting about something else.
I wish I wish I could send you guys a picture, because in this one picture, you can see the one guy working for the airline, like he's giving this look just like, oh my gosh.
We couldn't just get on the plane, could we? We couldn't.
It's a very brief look in this guy's eyes, but you can just see it. It tells the whole story, like, great.
Yeah, but at least they weren't on the plane. Then everybody has to disembark if they don't want to get off. Like, they're just in the tube going out to the plane.
And apparently somebody eventually... I love how the airline staff doesn't break it up. And I understand why. Liability concerns. And then a couple of people that are apparently not exactly in the mix, they just go and
maybe
break
they were
it
other
up.
family members traveling with them?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because, again, they were family because they want to keep pointing that out.
It's like, what are they? What?
Why do they do that? Tim said, I'll take the picture. You can. I mean, are we going to text this picture to everybody, or if you just Google it, you guys can find it?
Yeah, and just I'll send you a link you can scroll through.
Okay,
How's
you'll
that?
do that.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, he'll send it to you.
The look on this guy's face is just, yep.
His professionalism slipped for a moment.
It's the dead eyes.
Well, that of course you'd have.
And his head is just like,
here we go again.
Here we go. It's a Tuesday.
And they're fighting.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on Radio U.
The Avengers video game hits on Friday, but it looks like half the internet got it yesterday.
Was it an accident or they just were fine with sending it out?
I think that it must be that like somebody somewhere, something I don't know, were selling it.
Oh.
Like hard copies of it. And it looks like that happened all over the place.
So you're talking a lot of people picked up a physical copy, but it's still digitally not available?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So if you you could probably go out in the wild and buy it on PS4 or Xbox today if you went looking for it.
But otherwise, you have to wait till Friday.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say is this. I've been kind of looking through it, and reviews are... Nobody's reviewing anything. It's just that people have gotten a few hours of play in, and they're saying whether they're liking it or not. The more I look at it, the more I feel like it's a $60 game that they really want you to pay about $500 for, because it sounds like they are going to nickel and dime you into oblivion.
Oh, for any updates and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
They unveiled yesterday their season pass for each character, which is $10 per character. And, just all this stuff. And after a while, you're like,
might not be, don't tell them, but it just might not be worth it.
It feels like you're charging me to buy a store where you can sell me more things. Maybe that's not accurate.
Well, at least character-wise, they could be a bit more generous.
Maybe some people, maybe it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, so people aren't liking Nikki. That side of it.
So it's got me looking at it crossways.
But can you just play? You just don't have to get the updated stuff?
You could. You could.
But then they wear you down.
Over time,
and eventually there's some sort of sale that brings it down a little bit.
Just enough to where you're like, wow.
Fine, you want to see your character develop.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just going through the hashtag on Twitter right now, and I would say that people's takes on it are mixed. Some people are really excited, but you got to temper that, because some people they're like, oh my gosh, I got it early. Oh my gosh. And, they're playing it, and they don't have
realistic.
They don't have a real great perspective on it just yet.
Well, just again, if you want a physical copy of the new Avengers game, that's been in the wilds. But if you want a digital copy, it's still, when you wake up on Friday.
Yeah.
Or when you go to sleep on real late Thursday night.
I'm going to I got to see reviews, because I'll tell you, I'm so tempted. Saturday morning, I'm working Friday night, Saturday morning, and I could wake up, it could be just waiting on me.
Yeah, but if it's worthless, don't.
Exactly.
You could go back and play another game.
Yeah, of course.
Got plenty of other to choose from.
What's worse than the worst of the Riot? The Worst of the Riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
And we're here to prove to you that things don't stay dead.
They come back.
They do.
Better than ever, even better than before.
There he is. Look at that. Back from the dead. And
yeah.
If you want to, make sure to hop on to Radio U Riot or Radio U on Facebook. If you want to see Andrew, I'll give you a second if you want to hop over there, and then you can watch him.
So we have with us Andrew from Project 86. No,
Disciple.
I'm kidding. Andrew from Disciple and I Am Empire.
Yeah, which is back with new music.
That's right. And I did play guitar for Project 86 on a tour once, so
it is true.
Kind of,
you've done everything.
Kind of universal.
So, Andrew,
I've gotten to do a lot of cool things.
What have you, you're in lockdown. It looks like you're stuck inside an attic somewhere. What have you been doing this whole time?
Thank you. Now, this is my home studio, and it's sort of an attic. There's obviously the A-frame roof here, but I assure you it's climate controlled, so everything's cool. But no, I've been having a good time since lockdown started in the midst of all the craziness, just doing a lot of recording. I've been composing full time now for the last year for a company called Soundstripe, but I've also been busy with Disciples, still recording and writing. And then with I'm Empire, we had these songs from the Tooth and Nail days, as you guys remember, that were sort of in the vault, so to say. And 8 years later, they have now been released.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're saying like this is not, you guys didn't get back together to record these. They've just been
sitting for a while?
Sitting, and you're just releasing them.
That's right. There's 3 songs from the Anchor sessions that we did in Baltimore with Brian McTernan in 2012. 2 of the songs that round out the little 5-track EP are acoustic versions of songs from Kings, the first album we did, which was 10 years ago in 2010, if you can believe that. That was the first time I was ever out here in Nashville, and now it's home.
Aw. So what made you decide to just bring them out of the vaults to do I Am Empire stuff again?
Yeah, well, we've stayed in touch. I mean, those are all, my buds from back home that I've known for most of my life. And we've always talked about doing new songs, doing new music. Touring isn't really on the cards for us anymore. But for years that we've had these songs. And I had some conversations with Austin during lockdown and the beginning phases of all this. And we were talking about how it'd be cool to put these songs out to sort of, give people something positive, hopefully something good. In the midst of all the craziness. And it sort of worked out because right as that was happening, our A&R guy for Disciple at Tooth and Nail is who was our A&R guy for I'm Empire all these years ago. So I sort of had this segue to say, hey, by the way, as I'm having a conversation with him about turning in new Disciple music that we're self-producing now, like legit getting songs from this environment to this record label that I grew up listening to just blows my mind. But in the middle of doing all that, I was like, hey, by the way, there's these songs that I'm Empire never put out. And
what do we think?
We were talking about maybe doing that.
Yeah, all that works out.
What do you think?
So this is Andrew, and again, we were joking, but he is a part of a lot of groups. But with Disciple, you'll know him from there. And then I Am Empire, returning with the EP of some of the music that never got sent out or released last time.
So Andrew, how weird does the old I Am Empire stuff sound to you now?
That's a good question. It's kind of funny because along this journey, I've sort of become a producer and obviously composer. So I'm doing a lot of my own recordings and just always to doing guitar, different guitar techniques and tracking. And so to hear guitar I recorded 8 years ago is like, who did that? It sounds definitely different from what I do now. So hopefully it sounds good. It sounds just like the rest of that Anchors album that we put out in it actually came out in 2013. And it's great because it's kind of a time capsule. Like we were just joking about how, doing interviews on one day and they air the next day, it's time travel. Well, with recording, it's like whether you're just doing a few takes in a row or you're waiting 8 years to put out a song, it's time travel. And, that's what makes musicians the biggest geniuses in all the world.
So for I Am Empire fans, you should be listening tonight because it's going to be on the Battle of the Buzz, which will be a nice trip back.
Nice.
Yeah, so on Battle of the Buzz tonight, you can hear Clever Nightmare from I Am Empire. Does that mean you'll ever go back and do new stuff, or you just really wanted to have a chance to get this stuff since it never was released out there, but that's about it?
I really hope so. It's not a definite thing. We're just sort of leaving it open-ended, but we all do music still to some extent, and the guys are still back in California, so obviously it makes it harder to get together and work on things. But with technology now, as we're seeing at this very moment, or the very moment that you're watching this in the future, we're seeing that it's very possible to collaborate remotely. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of been the best silver lining about lockdown and COVID and all this stuff is all these musicians that have gotten together on projects to do video and collaborations online. It's kind of been a gift to people. And I think it's really brought back a lot of the purity to music and to musicians. And I'm hoping that we can sort of take that energy and, create some new things from it. So we're having those conversations, but I can't promise anything. I don't want to say, we're back. We're not going to be, going out on the road or doing anything like that. There's no new
no touring and stuff
that we can continue to collaborate and do new music.
So what you're saying is when I said Back from the Dead, what I really mean is still dead, but next to them in the coffin was this album.
Something.
Okay. All right.
It's like a listening party at the cemetery.
There it is.
Okay. All right. So
Of bands.
Of bands, yes.
So one last thing I want to throw at you. You're doing you're still doing Disciple stuff right now. What's going on with Disciple? Because we're getting ready to play a new Disciple song this week as well.
Yeah, it starts on Friday for Darkness Dies, which has been on the Battle of the Buzz as well. So that starts Friday.
Okay, so what's up with Disciple?
You guys are just too good to us, especially me. I mean, look at this. And I do want to take a second to say that, 8, 10, 12 years ago, however long it's been, when I Am Empire was getting started, you guys were one of the first stations to really play us a lot. So first of all, thank you.
Aww.
And quick story about that before I get into the Disciple stuff. I just was remembering this morning before the call. The first time I ever had this happen, we were in Ohio in 2011, I think. And I Am Empire played a concert in this little, when I say a warehouse, it's not like a cool, term for a venue. It was actually a warehouse. With a PA system sort of thrown in the middle. And we played with, Children 18-3 and a couple other local bands, I think, on this one. And it was the first time where we played a song called Brain Damage, and everybody sang it. It was at this place in Ohio, and it was because RadioU was playing that song. So...
we do what we
really
can.
Cool.
Aw, those are good memories.
Yeah.
It's helpful because, bands.
Tip my backwards hat.
Yeah, bands want, the fans. I think that's also why, go back 10 years. It was hard for a band to have the same amount of support and to go around if you weren't touring and stuff, which is why it's such a good time for bands to now be able to come back, do new music, release the old stuff, but then not know that they don't have to go out and tour if that's not something that is possible, but they can still do music and still get support with sending that out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's nice to have maybe somewhat discouraged on the touring side, but they're encouraged to create new stuff. And I think this fall and over the winter, we're going to get so many good releases from artists that have been, locked up for the year, where they normally might have been out on the road the whole time performing instead. So it'll be great. And with Disciple, there's really no exception there. Most of the shows have been canceled for the rest of the year, but I won't speak definitively about that. And as you guys might know, and most people that follow Disciple know, I stopped touring a couple of years ago, so I'm not going to be heading back out on the road. But I am continuing to be involved with writing and recording process here in Nashville. You guys talked to a friend of mine named Josiah Prince recently.
We did.
We were doing some stuff together yesterday for the Disciple Patreon, and we did these 3 songs for the Love Letter Killshot Deluxe Edition over the course of February and March. They were songs that we had written during the writing process for the Killshot album. They didn't get used, but we really liked them, and we knew that this was going to be a possibility, so that was the perfect opportunity to try this out. Hey, what if we just produce these from home? This is kind of what we do now, and let's see how it goes. And I think they came out fantastic.
Awesome. All right. Well, Andrew, thanks for hanging with us, dude.
Oh, it's so nice to catch up with
Thank
you.
you
We're
guys.
so glad to hear the music that we never got to hear back with I Am Empire, that it's new now.
And the EP's called Another Man's Treasure, which is a little play on, what we threw away 8 years ago and now what we're using today. So you can check it out, stream it, Clever Nightmare.
And the thumbs up.
And the thumbs up. All right.
In case you guys on the radio could not see the thumbs up, that's what that was.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, what's your relationship with Sylvester Stallone?
Sylvester Stallone? I don't think I have one because I don't think there's any movie I really remember from him.
What about The Expendables 1, 2, and 3?
I've never seen those.
They're actually
not bad.
They're entertaining.
I figured it had enough people in it.
I don't want to call them good.
Okay, that's a stretch.
Because some of the cameos are bad.
Sure, but I don't think
Bad.
It's been a while since he's been in anything.
A hot minute?
Yeah, that's been current and popular like he's known for.
Well, he was in Creed 2?
Yeah,
what was that? How long ago was that?
Well, I feel
2
like
years
that
ago?
maybe did not do as well as the first one. And
let me just tell you, Creed 2 is not as good as the first one.
Sure, but those are Rocky movies,
But
right?
it is a good movie.
So outside of Rocky characters, like, has there been anything else?
I can't think of anything. Somebody somewhere, he's probably in some art house movie that changed the way people see the world.
No, it's always I think it's like him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they're always like they're the sheriff in this town, and some bad thing comes in.
That's right.
So probably something along those lines.
Probably. So Rocky Balboa, the character that at least for me made him famous, and yeah, you're right. He was in Creed. He was in Creed 2, and Nikki, he is about to release a director's cut of Rocky 4.
Oh, but it's not new, right? It's just a new cut of it?
It's a new cut of the movie. It came out in 1985. So here you are, 35 years later.
And that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, you might not know this, but Rocky 4 ended the Cold War.
Oh, did it?
It did.
So what's new in it? Like there was unreleased stuff, or is he not just saying?
I don't know. Maybe it's a big 4K remaster where you're finally going to see it as it was meant to be seen. Probably. That's what I think it's going to be.
Okay, well, if you're a Rocky fan, I guess that could be good.
Yeah. They say they're going to cut out. There is a scene in it in which one of the characters owns a robot, and they're going to cut that out.
Was that like a
lot of people are mad that they're cutting out the robot.
How come? Were people mad at it, though, when it came out, or is it wrong? Like, you know, sometimes we have older movies where they put wrong things in it and now we can't have it.
Yeah.
So was it a bad robot?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? What was wrong with it?
I don't know.
They must have not liked it.
I don't know what's wrong with the robot, but I just know that in reading about this that's coming, it's, they're upset and they're taking the robot out.
So that'll be Rocky 4, you said?
Yeah.
They're re-releasing it?
Yeah. And in the meantime, I heard they were going to make a Creed 3.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Like that rumor's been floating around for a while.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah. So I would be up for that. Again, Creed 2, not as good as Creed, but still pretty good.
And that was the Michael B. Jordan guy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said he was good in it.
Oh, so good. So good.
They at least have to get to, the Rocky numbers for it. They got to make more.
Yeah, I think there are like 14 or 15 Rocky films.
So they got plenty of Creed ones to make.
Plenty of time left.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I've been very transparent here on this show about what a bad idea Taco Bell is. I've talked to you about it.
It's just his thing.
I've never held back.
Yeah.
I have tried to, as consistently as possible, remind you that whether it's your friends or your family or even some dark side of yourself that tempts you to, and I quote, make a run for the border, that you need to stand strong, you need to say no, but you don't.
But have you ever actually gotten sick, or are you just teasing? Because I've been there. I've never been sick before.
You never?
Never.
Nikki, could I tell you about a 7-layer bean dip?
Oh, that was homemade. And oh my gosh, that was from when I was a kid, and that was bad. I can't eat that stuff.
I know, but it's the same.
It's not
it's
the
all
same.
It is.
It's not the same.
That came from Taco Bell.
No, that was a bad stomach flu, and I ate a lot of sugar cookies with that dip, and man, that combo is wicked.
You've never told me about the sugar cookies.
Oh, yeah. I was at my grandma's, and I just remember, you were young, and you can't say no to the sugar cookies, but this dip was like 7 layers. It's fascinating.
Well, the Oklahoma City Police Department, they're on the lookout. No, actually, you know what? They got the guy. Christopher Sale is his name. He was doing some laundry and decided he wanted some Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. So he rolled on over to Taco Bell, and he got himself, his meal. Then he drove through, and he's like, hey, I didn't get enough sauce.
Yeah.
And so they gave him some sauce. And then he came
Did
through
they give
one
him
more.
Attitude?
Maybe. They might have. And then he went through one more time and he's like, listen, I still want some napkins and sauce. So he went through 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. There is a detail that we glossed over that I hinted at very early in his story. He was doing his laundry.
Yeah.
And wanted some Taco Bell. Now, why do you do laundry, Nikki?
Because your clothes are dirty.
Right. Your clothes are dirty, but you want to go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So you just...
Oh, is he naked?
He was naked.
Oh, I see. Was he actually doing his laundry or was he just naked?
He says he was doing his laundry.
I think he was looking for attention, which is why he was going around 3 times.
That's
it.
I feel like he didn't get enough attention for his nudity on pass 1 because, just to be clear, naked people at Taco Bell drive-thru, not that weird.
Plus, depending on the window, too, they might have just not realized the person was naked. Maybe it just looked like he was not wearing a shirt.
Could have been. And, well, I mean, my thing is you go to Taco Bell, you put down the plastic, you get naked. That way, it's just, when it's all
so
over,
worse.
you just roll up the plastic and throw it away.
You roll you up in the plastic and throw you away?
You have to hose yourself down. You roll the plastic.
I've never gone to Taco Bell and eaten that way. Most people
Naked?
don't. No. Like
On
to where
plastic?
you got it. Yes, exactly. Why are you making
I
it seem
can't
that?
be the only one. Come on.
They say that, like, if you've ever been flashed or anything like that, you're just supposed to ignore and not be emotional with them because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the reaction out of you. So maybe they did not give him a reaction.
Well, they did call the police on the 2nd or 3rd time through. The police arrested him, and this is what he had to say. I didn't know it was against the law to drive naked.
Right. He didn't know.
Nikki.
Now he knows.
Now he knows. I mean, up until this point, he had no idea that he wasn't supposed to. That's why you have to put signs up.
Signs up for everything, right?
Right. So, like...
Where are you putting that sign up?
Freeway entrances. Like an entrance ramp.
So right when you get... No, it's right when you get off. So hey, you can't go through the drive-thrus if you're not clothed. Shirt
and shoes and pants not optional, even in drive-thru.
He just wanted, like we said, he wanted some attention, some negative attention. Well...
It's still
positive attention for a negative action is what he was trying to do.
According to him, Nikki, he didn't know. And I believe him.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Allie Sherb on TikTok decided to share with the world something her grandma's been doing for the last 24 years.
So was her grandma? I didn't know if it was her mom or something.
It's her grandma. Her grandma has in a big white box in the top of her closet.
It's a shoebox.
She has a McDonald's hamburger inside a McDonald's bag. So she shows it off. She pulls out the bag. She is proving the age by saying, look, right here on this bag, you can see it's a NASCAR 1996 McDonald's bag.
Yeah.
So right here, this is how old this is. She opens it up and shows you the French fries. They look like seasoned fries.
They look normal. And she even comments, like what was that documentary forever ago where it just shows that they, like you lose them in your car and then you find them and they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Same case for this.
I mean, I'll say the fries look a little different.
Darker.
A little darker, yeah.
But they're not moldy or anything.
Think like Christopher Nolan Batman. It's a little darker, a little edgier.
But they don't decompose. Like they just stay the same.
And then she has the hamburger. The hamburger looks like, I mean, when you open it, it's like, okay, maybe it looks like the inside of the bun might be decaying, but it looks like you could just straight up take a bite out of it and you wouldn't even notice.
Now, the hamburger patty, though, looks fine until they touch it, and then it seems like it's dried out.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not it's not green, though. It doesn't have mold that we know of. It might have a different mold that's a different color, but it doesn't look moldy.
You just need to, like with a little bit of ketchup, I feel like you could bring this thing right back to life.
Well, you need to add a little water, reheat it.
Yeah, okay. Put some water on it, microwave it, like just a little bit, not too much.
Yeah. So the person who posted on her TikTok, like you were saying, it's her grandmother. She never covered why the grandmother had put this in a box in a closet. And this was before she was even born. It's been around that long.
Well, she doesn't say why, but you know what? I love it. Maybe her grandma was somebody that was like, yeah, I told you it's no good.
Maybe.
And that was kind of it. I don't know. But I do know this, that McDonald's burger, now if for a 24-year-old person to still look young and fresh, not that impressive. For a 24-year-old burger, man, that's like being 150 and looking like you're 18.
So in the article, it talks about there's other people around now that are joining in on this trend of finding family members who keep food to just see how it progresses. And then they were talking even earlier about, Burger King was trying to highlight a few years ago how
I remember that.
They did an ad campaign showing how their stuff decomposed, like gets moldy, gets bad, obviously bad, because they're showing how they don't have the same artificial preservatives that McDonald's using, which keeps it preserved.
McDonald's says that it doesn't use preservatives. He said, look, if you look closely, you'll see it's decaying. If you look closely.
Well, it is, but it's just not decaying in the way we normally see something decay.
Look, McDonald's, there's nothing you can say that's going to make it better. There's also nothing anyone else can say.
I know, any other fast food place.
That's going to keep me from going to McDonald's.
We're still okay with it.
I'll take some French fries right now.
We know the danger, and it's not like it's staying in your stomach that way, so it's fine.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So there was a story making its way around yesterday about a woman who wasn't feeling well. She lived in Dagestan. Do you know where that is?
I do not.
Let's find out.
Don't even know how to spell that.
Republic. It's a Russian republic. The Russian Republic of Dagestan.
All right.
And apparently she fell asleep and a snake slid in her mouth and down her throat.
No. Has that ever happened before? Is she alive?
She's alive.
What happened to it?
I just want to be clear.
You don't want that.
Just go ahead and kill me.
Yeah. I'll take care of it.
Like, okay.
I understand.
It's kind of that scene like in Aliens or whatever. Like, look, if it comes to it, like, don't.
What happens? Does it just go, like, was it a big snake, little snake? I need all the details. Is there anything else?
Here's the thing. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah.
So that you can look at it. Because just to be clear, I can't.
Is this we're not sure it's actually true, or is this pretty?
How about this?
Pretty
There's
sure.
footage of them removing the snake from her throat.
I don't need to watch that.
No, see, I know you'll watch it, but I can't.
So it's a 4-foot snake. She felt unwell. They inserted a tube down her throat at the hospital. They're not saying if the snake was alive at that point, but it had slithered while she was sleeping. Oh boy, that would make you sick, wouldn't it?
Like she's sleeping with like her mouth open.
Oh, now. Oh, it's there. It just automatically started playing the video.
Yeah.
Oh no. They say, but this is bad. Locals say incidents happen infrequently, but that still means it happens. And older citizens advise young people not to sleep outside because of the risk of snakes in the area slithering inside their mouths.
What?
Where are they at?
They're in Dagestan.
It's a population of over 11,000. And it's at an altitude of 4,000 feet.
Yeah.
They say some commenters claim that it could actually be a parasite or a giant worm, but people are saying, no, it looks too big. It looks to be a snake.
Either way. Like in the moment, I'd be like, I might think like, no, I want to live.
Save me, but no, not after. But if that's something that's common in that area, then it'd be odd here.
Oh, you know what? Oh, Nikki got another snake in her mouth.
Is there the snake in the boot? It's the snake in the mouth.
There's a snake in my mouth.
That is gross. So what can we do to make sure we sleep with our mouth shut?
You know what? Let's just go ahead and just leave your mask on. You know?
Oh, yes. We could just sleep with the mask on at night.
And then maybe you just drop it down below your nose, since that's what most people are doing anyway.
No,
and then you
thank
just breathe
you.
through your nose and out through your mouth. And then the snake is like, I can't get in.
What's this?
I keep on knocking, but I can't get in.
I'm going to find something else then to slither in. This is not positive. This could be just hearsay or something. But in the comment section, a few people are commenting that perhaps one might be intoxicated.
Oh, so like you're passed
to
out
not
drunk.
Notice.
And you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, because, you would like to think you'd wake up if a 4-foot-long snake slithered in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'd like
Can
to
you
think,
sleep through that? And they're saying, well, maybe they had been drinking and you're lulled to sleep and you just don't know.
Well, you saying that like you'd like to think that you'd wake up. No, that's not it. I would like to think that in that moment, the Lord would
You'd hear angels
would
and harp
either
music.
swat away the snake, or he would just say, "It's time to come home,
Son.
It's time to come home, son.
My dear son, good
Come
and
on,
faithful.
Come on home.
You've done everything you could here on Earth. It's time to go."
You're not going to be able to live with this. Just come on home."
See, I know what you're saying, but if you've ever had something truly traumatic, you don't think you can, but you rise up.
I know.
And then you make it, and you're proud of yourself because you lived through it.
I did it.
You made it through.
I did it.
The snake coming in.
I don't know, Nikki. There are exceptions.
We really hate snakes.
I don't know.
So that's a story out of
Dagestan. You can look that up later.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, somewhere out there, beneath the pale moon. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
They are preparing the next Apple event.
Yeah.
Which they expect will happen in September.
Sure, which it's normal time.
Now, Bloomberg has got some Apple rumors for you. You want some?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. They will be unveiling 4 new iPhones, all of which will do 5G.
Ooh.
Ew.
Or should we say ew?
I'll just tell you right now.
Or ew.
You're paying to get the Rona.
So everybody's...
It's a Rona phone.
There's still that talk, so...
They're going to get you.
So, okay, 5G they would all do.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Rumored, according to Bloomberg. Also, you would get a 5.4 inch, a 6.1 inch. Those would be the entry level whatever. And then the Pro models would feature a 6.1.
I'm a Pro phone user.
And a...
Oh, tell me bigger.
6.7 inch.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Would make it the largest iPhone ever.
Give me an iPad I can carry around. Yay!
Well, isn't the iPad mini, isn't that a 7-inch tablet?
Yeah, you're getting close to it.
Let's see. iPad mini size. 7.9 inches. So you're 1.2 inches away
from just being a mini?
An iPad mini, yeah.
I still love, in the beginning it was probably like, oh, is this too big? And they were always like, oh, women can't handle the larger phone and all that stuff. But man, make it bigger. I'm fine with it.
Well, the original, like if you go back all the way to the iPhone 3G or iPhone or whatever.
What were those?
I want to say that they were like upper 3, lower 4s as far as the screen size. And that screen size was specifically chosen because Steve Jobs wanted you to be able to use it with one hand with your thumb.
I remember that.
And so the idea was you should be able to reach everywhere on this phone with your thumb. And so a larger screen was stupid.
Now you can't because it'll just fall right on you. So you really need to use both hands.
Both hands.
Grab onto it.
So that's it. I will say we kind of glanced over it, but the other thing that's a big deal is there'll be OLED screens. And as someone that at one time had an OLED screen, they're very pretty. Very pretty, guys.
So 4 possible new phones. And that they would be talking about in September, but usually comes out like early October?
I guess so. Yeah. So I just want to say best of luck, everybody.
As you decide which one, or if you're strong and you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I don't know if we were prepared. We're all just still talking console. Like, how do you get the money for that? So, what are we doing here?
I imagine that you'd be able to buy 3 PlayStation 5s
for this
for the cost of an iPhone.
No, see, I still have, or if you're in Verizon, we have I'll just get one every year.
Right.
So I'm just renting it. We're borrowing it.
Well, it's a paid loan.
It's a paid loan. It's not free.
It's a lease.
So we'll see what happens. Okay, cool. So it'll be in September.
Yeah.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So if you're one of those people that doesn't have Netflix yet, and I'll just be honest, Nikki and I don't really know people like that.
No, I think there are, and it's shocking, but I think the better thing is to say, do you have your own login for Netflix? And there's just different people who don't have, I think, high enough speed in different places, so they just don't have it.
So here's what I got for you. Netflix is allowing non-subscribers to stream some things for free, and they don't have to sign up for an account.
Yeah,
you can just go and stream it.
This was done by a couple other companies at the beginning of quarantine time. Do you remember? They wanted you to be able to you didn't have to log in. You just went to like Sling and you could watch some movies or TV that way. So now you don't have to have an account. You just go there through a desktop.
Because let's face it, a lot of times when they're like, sign up here and you can watch this, and you're like, nope, I'm out. And it's not because you're concerned about privacy, because come on. You're not concerned about privacy. It's just because you're lazy.
Sure.
But they're like, no. You stop by. We're going to let you watch the first episode of Stranger Things, the first episode of Boss Baby, or you can watch Bird Box, Murder Mystery, which I've never even heard of.
That is... It feels...
It's a Netflix movie.
Is it a Jennifer Aniston? Is that the Adam Sandler one?
Is that the Adam Sandler thing?
Adam Sandler murder. Yeah, Murder Mystery one. That's the one where they're just a normal couple and they get thrown into all the espionage thing.
I think that's the one I watched.
It wasn't the worst. I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
There's way worse out there.
Well... I mean, there's way worse on Netflix.
Looking at you for the Ryan Reynolds movie.
And then Two Popes.
Two Popes, okay.
Was the other thing that they're saying you could get. And so if you want to, man, they're just trying to be a drug dealer. If you want to get a little taste.
Your first hit.
Take your first hit of the Netflix, and then you're going to be begging to sign up.
I wonder how effective that is, though. Because, again, in our world, who doesn't have Netflix already or have a roommate or a generous supporter in your parents who still pay for it?
Right.
And then or did you just steal it? Did they just watch it that way?
I don't know. Everybody, like most of the people in my immediate friend group or whatever, I can tell you right now, they all...
in some way,
by hook or by crook.
Exactly. They have it.
They see what they want when they want.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So for the TV shows, you only get one episode, like you were saying. But for the movies, you get the whole movie. You do.
So, if you've ever wanted to see Sandra Bullock build a small nest for some birds in her backyard and the relationship they form.
That's not actually how the movie went.
Okay.
They were saying that when they announced the news yesterday that they were going to do that for non-subscribers, that things went well for them. So
Rick says Murder Mystery was really good and relatively clean and funny.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good.
I didn't hate it. You know what it was? It was Friday night, and I was like, whatever.
Just watch it.
And just watched it.
The Adam Sandler stuff does well for Netflix.
I will tell you, sometimes it is kind of nice to sit down and watch something that is not 10 hours long. And do you notice how almost everything we watch now is so dark? It's so serious. It's so intense. Like the stakes are so high. The idea of some Adam Sandler hijinks
sounds fine.
Apparently, it was just what I was looking for.
But again, that's why his stuff tends to do super well for Netflix.
I mean, come on.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
So, Nikki, we have here Walmart.
Yeah.
Thinks that they can steal you.
Yeah.
That they can,
lure me away.
Yeah.
Did they ever do their movie drive-in thing?
Yeah, just
as a side note,
nowhere near
just
us.
Not near. Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't get to have the fun part.
We're in too big of an area for it.
Can't do that.
So, what are they trying to take me away from Amazon? Or?
They've announced that coming up September 15th, you could be a part of Walmart Plus.
Ooh.
So $12.95 a month, which I think is what Amazon Prime costs, or $98 a year.
Will be that.
Yeah, they say for the most part, hey, it's going to be same day. So they've got, this may shock you, there are Walmarts everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you join them, you can get, in a lot of cases, same-day delivery. And if you pay their fee, any order you make over $35
will get the
free delivery.
So they were
quote unquote. You're paying for the flat fee.
Sure.
And then
the article I read, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they were talking about how Amazon and Walmart both, with quarantine stuff, made out extremely well.
Oh, I don't have any doubt.
Because people were just online shopping. They've increased by so much. And people were mad at Amazon in the beginning because do you remember how Amazon could not keep up with things?
Yeah.
They were constantly out of things and you were paying for the quicker shipping, but you didn't actually get it. So a lot of people went pro Walmart at that time because they switched over to them.
Well, it's nice because, with Walmart, you can get it immediately.
Mm-hmm. So, both, though, I think they're still doing just fine.
I'm glad we're having this conversation. It reminds me I'm out of shave butter.
Oh, you got to order something?
Yeah, I'm going to do
shea
that
butter?
right now.
Oh, for shaving? Or
Shave butter. There may be shea butter in it.
But it's shave butter. I see.
Yeah. I switched over to the butter from a cream a while ago. It's wonderful.
Nice to hear.
It's wonderful.
I don't know if I would switch from Amazon to Walmart. It's like why I don't get rid of Netflix. It's been a part of my life for so long.
It's loyalty, right?
I don't even know if it's loyalty at this point. Is it laziness or loyalty?
Laziness and loyalty may actually be different sides of the same coin.
I think so.
It would take too much effort for me to...
They'd have to really offend me or bother me.
Yes.
Really do something mistake-wise, which maybe I shouldn't say because I don't want... Don't open that door. For me to be mad enough to do the effort to switch over.
We're coming for you.
So Walmart Plus, though, if you're interested, will be like the Amazon Prime.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Okay, this is a wild story. And I don't have all the details, but I'll give you what I've got. Marisol Nichols, she plays Hermione Lodge on Riverdale on the CW. She's the mom. So she apparently, for the last few years, has been volunteering for an organization and working with something called Operation Underground Railroad. So keep in mind, she's doing her day job. She's doing this at night, in which she would pose as a parent trying to sell children for child trafficking.
Oh, she'd pose online, is that?
Sometimes in line, sometimes online, sometimes in person, so that the FBI could get them.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Well, she was really doing something. Wow.
What?
It reminds me of for our bands, Remedy Drive.
Yeah.
They work in trafficking as well, meaning they go to different countries with organizations to help rescue girls that are stuck in that.
Yes. Are they Operation something? I think Exodus Road.
That's it.
I think is what it's called.
And the stories that you hear are just traumatic, and it's very hard. Which is especially admirable for her because it's very hard to see that world so up close and try to save kids and girls from it because it is just it's things you would never expect to learn about.
Wow. It is wild. Well, they are taking her story and turning it into a TV show.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
So she's going to be the executive producer on it, and she may actually be in the show.
The show itself?
Yeah. But they are going to base it on her experiences of working TV by day and then working undercover asset by night.
I don't know if the movie ever came out or it was during COVID, but I remember on Facebook seeing a trailer too. Like there's a upcoming Jim Caviezel movie that looks really... Did you ever see that trailer?
I have heard of it, but I never saw the trailer.
Oh, the trailer's like something. But I can't remember if it actually ended up coming out somewhere or if they just pushed it back. But that's along those same lines.
Okay. So the show, which it doesn't have a name, they haven't said who's going to pick it up yet. But apparently she recently was in Marie Claire. That's a magazine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She did an interview in which she
was
talked
talking about it
and talked about the series. So
well, that's amazing for her to be a part of something.
It really, really is.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the Radio U app or at riot.radiou.com.
I don't want Facebook to know this much about my face.